Hello everybody, I hope you guys are doing great. So welcome back to another video of the system design playlist. In this video we are going to discuss about webhooks and microservices. First, what are webhooks? We are going to discuss about it and how do webhooks actually work with the help of example, and what are microservices? Microservices with the help of an example, how microservices actually work. We are going to discuss that and the final summary in this lecture. Let's discuss about webhooks. What are webhooks? So previously we were just doing polling an API. We are polling an API to check if an event has occurred or not. Okay, so what we were doing is we were polling an API to check whether an event occurred or not. Okay, so we were polling an API to check whether an event has occurred or not. This was the previous term we were doing. Webhooks allow a server to send an HTTP request to another server as soon as the event occurs. So suppose the event has occurred. So suppose there is a server. This is the server A, and this is going to send an HTTP request to another server. Okay, to another server B. So this is done with the help of webhooks. Now let's discuss about webhooks more deeply with the help of a diagram and the architecture of its working. How do webhooks actually work? Like we have a user here, we have the receiver. What is the receiver? Receiver is your app here. Okay, this is your app. So the receiver registers a webhook URL. The receiver registers a webhook URL with the provider. For example, you have Stripey, GitHub, Twilio. So we can have a Stripey. Okay, we can have GitHub and Twilio. So the receiver actually registers a webhook URL with the provider, for example Stripey, GitHub and Twilio. So when an event occurs, what is an event? For example, a user is doing a payment. Okay, this is an event. The event has occurred. Now the provider here, this is the provider. The provider sends an HTTP post request to the webhook URL. The provider sends a HTTP post request to the webhook URL actually. Okay, here the webhook URL is, it sends a HTTP request to the webhook URL with the event details, with all the event details. So your app processes the incoming request and updates the data accordingly. Okay, so this saves server resources and reduces unnecessary API calls. This is how actually webhooks work. Now let's discuss about microservices. What are microservices? Traditionally, if I talk about microservices, applications were built using monolithic architecture. Remember this word. Applications were built using monolithic architecture. Okay. Now, the microservices comes in use. All the features, for example, whether you are doing authentication, whether you are doing payments, whether you are placing any order or you are doing shipping, these are inside one large code base. So suppose you are doing authentication, okay, and you are also doing some payment, and you are also placing some order, or you are doing some shipping. Okay, so these all occurs in a large code base, single large code base, single large code base. These all occur inside it. So if one part of the system fails or needs scaling, the entire system will get affected. Suppose I want to scale authentication, or I want to scale payments, or I want to scale orders. The entire system will suffer because it is in a one system. It is inside one single large code base. So it will get affected. So deployment is risky here, and one bad update can take down the entire app. So here one bad update can take down the entire app. So it can take down the entire app. Remember this word. Okay. Now let's discuss about microservices deeply with the help of an example. Okay, suppose this is an example. Here we have order service, we have payment service, we have inventory service, and we have shipping service. Okay, how it actually works. Imagine there is an e-commerce app. So imagine there is an e-commerce app. Okay. Now here we are performing four things. One is we are placing an order, we are doing the payments, we are managing the inventory, and also we are doing the shipping. So these four modules are all tightly connected in a single database. Okay, suppose these are tightly connected in a single database. If the inventory system crashes, suppose the inventory system crashes, okay, so the entire app could go down, as we have seen previously. Monolith work fine for small application, but for large scale systems, they become hard to manage, scale, and deploy. The solution is to break down your application into smaller independent services we call as microservices, okay, that work together. So what I am doing is I am just breaking down the single large code base into smaller units. I am putting a smaller unit for order services. I am putting a smaller unit for payment services, putting a smaller unit for the inventory services, and putting a smaller unit for shipping services. These are independently working and producing the results for each and every services. Okay. So how it actually works? Each microservice works in a way like for example, each microservice handles a single responsibility. Here this database is only handling the order service, okay, and payment is handling only payment service. It is handling only inventory service, and it is handling only shipping services, and has its own database and logic. It has only order service logic schema, okay, and it has only payment service logic. It has only inventory service logic, and so on. So these are working independently. Remember this word. These are working independently. Okay, independently. These are working independently. So there is a reduce in the load, as we have seen on the single database. There was a large load, but on these components there is a smaller load. Okay, and even if I want to remove or scale or update anything in the order service, I don't need to worry about it, because payment service is isolated, it is also isolated, and the shipping service is also safe. So I can easily scale order service whenever I want. This way the services can be scaled and deployed individually without affecting the entire system. However, when multiple microservices need to communicate, for example, order service want to communicate to the payment service, and payment service want to communicate with the inventory service. So when multiple microservices need to communicate, the direct API calls aren't always efficient. Okay, we are not going to do direct API calls in between them. No, not at all. How we are going to manage this? This will be managed with the help of message queue. So in the next video, we are going to discuss how message queues actually work. Thank you. Watch Code Money for more videos. I hope you guys like this video. Do like, share, and subscribe my YouTube channel.